Once upon a time there was a man named John who lived in an old house on the outskirts of a small town. The house was large and spacious, but old and rundown, and no one knew exactly how long it had been there. One night, while John was sleeping, he was awakened by a noise coming from downstairs. It was a strange noise, like a series of heavy footsteps approaching his bedroom. John got out of bed and cautiously went downstairs. But when he reached the bottom floor, he didn't see anything strange. Everything seemed normal, except for a small door that he had never noticed before. Curious, John opened the door and saw a staircase leading down into an underground room. The room was dark and damp, and there was a strong smell of mold in the air. John turned on a flashlight and went down the stairs, trying to figure out what was in that room. But when he reached the bottom, he saw something very disturbing, a human figure wrapped in a leather suit and wearing a mask on its face. The figure was completely still, but it seemed to be watching John carefully. Suddenly, the figure began to move, emitting a sinister guttural sound. John immediately realized he had to escape, so he ran back up the stairs. But when he reached the door, he realized it was locked from the outside. John began to scream and pound on the door, but no one seemed to hear him. He spent hours and hours in that room, terrified of the figure slowly moving around him. Finally, the next morning, John was found by some neighbors who had heard his screams. But when the police arrived on the scene, the leather-suited figure was gone. Legend has it that the leather-suited figure was the ghost of the serial killer who once lived in John's house. It is said that the man was obsessed with human skin and had killed many people to use their skin to create his masks. From that day on, John's house was abandoned and no one dared to approach the underground room. However, some locals claim to still hear strange noises coming from the house today, as if the ghost of the serial killer is still there wandering.